Hey everybody, welcome to hashtag Pastor Besties. I'm Nicole.
I'm Melissa.
Today we're talking about, Melissa, have you ever felt like maybe you had no idea what you were actually doing?
Every day of my life.
Yeah, so today we're talking about what do you do when you have no idea what you're doing?
Yeah.
It's today on hashtag Pastor Besties.
So I was having a conversation recently with someone about how I believe that no one really knows how to do ministry in the 21st century. I think that if we did, we'd be doing it.
Can you tell us who you were having that conversation with?
With my bishop.
You know, like you do.
I mean, we were
Chit-chats with the bish.
It was work.
Okay, it's kind of an amazing story. Go ahead.
So we were talking about, this, that I don't believe people know what they're doing anymore. And it got me to thinking, when did people know what they were doing? Because I talk with my brother and sister who are both educators, and they're both like, the world has changed and trying to figure out how to teach and educate when we're supposed to do education and social work and all of these things at the same time too. So, I think that there's so many different professions and places that nobody knows what they're doing. And did anybody really know what they were doing? Or
I'm going to say no.
Right.
If we look back at biblical stories, which is some of the most ancient of stories that we have, they didn't know what they were doing.
I know.
Moses was like wandering around in a desert
For 40 years.
Jacob is like stealing birthrights and blessings and just working years and years. He has no idea what's happening. No, nobody knows what's going on.
So why do we think that they knew what they were doing?
I think because there's stories that we know so well and it worked out. So we're like, they must have known what they were doing because it worked out okay.
That's true. Well, yeah.
People, don't you think, like, you look at pastors and you're like, man, they're so good at their job.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
They have their shit together.
They don't really, though.
No.
They're just, like, by the grace of God.
Yeah.
Making it work.
Out.
Yeah. But to us, it looks like they have it all together.
Right.
I think people think that about me all the time, like, oh, you're pastoring and you're mothering and you're wifing and you're like, your life. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue. I'm just like making it up as I go along.
That's all we all do, right?
I put on a good face, but inside sometimes I'm like, have you ever had like somebody sit down across from you and they're like telling you some like deep thing and you're like, I have no idea what to say.
I want cotton candy.
And you're just like, Lord Jesus, give me some words.
Yeah.
Or some cotton candy. Or both.
Yeah.
You know?
I was in charge of our worship team for our annual conference, and I was talking to a couple of the folks who are planning one of the worship services, and they're like, why are you not freaking out about this? Like, we're freaking out. And I was like, inside I am. Like,
it's like a duck, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said I'm like a duck. Like, underneath the service, I'm like freaking out. But like above, I'm like, look.
I've got it all together.
I
know what I'm doing.
I don't have it all together.
No.
Ever.
No. If you really know us, you know that about us.
I think if you know humans, you know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it looks like sometimes like you do have it together, and sometimes you do know what you're doing.
True.
Sometimes that does happen.
But maybe not all the time.
No.
Definitely not all the time.
No.
Maybe not even the majority of the time.
Well,
maybe sometimes.
I'm a hot mess most times, but not all the time. Close.
No comment. I'm just kidding.
So, like when you don't know what you're doing, what do you do?
I Google it.
No. I Googled my doctor once because I didn't think he was right.
What do you do? What did they do before Google? People just didn't know anything ever.
Yeah. They wondered things.
I Google all the time. Okay, but in all seriousness, besides Googling, which is a serious suggestion because sometimes it just works.
Yeah.
ask for help or like float things to people and be
Yeah.
like, so Melissa, I was in this situation the other day. What would you do?
And sometimes the advice is super bad, and you're like, oh no, I won't do that.
Yeah. Thanks for the thoughts.
Yeah.
We'll never do
That's
that.
okay. Or it's based on your personality.
Right.
Like sometimes I tell you to do things like, you should say this to that person. I would never say that. But it's like,
It's not something I would do, but
no,
you should do it.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. And I wonder sometimes if we're not being vulnerable enough with each other to say,
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just
yeah.
gonna like hope that the Spirit leads.
No, because we're not rewarded for that. We're rewarded for excellence, or we're rewarded for expertise.
Yeah, nobody's given me a ribbon for being like, you had no idea what was going on. Here's a ribbon.
Congratulations. That's called a participation ribbon. I get a lot of those.
Those millennials. Yeah. You're right. We don't reward that. And maybe that's something that we should be more honest about with ourselves, that it's okay to not know. I mean, especially if you're seeking and you're trying to figure things out. I mean, if you don't know and you're not trying, that's probably not great.
Right.
Depending on the thing.
And I think that it helps in terms of like competition too, to remember that people don't always know what they're doing. So like it feels sometimes like we're in competition with each other, whether it's churches are in competition with each other, or pastors or clergy, or conferences or denominations, or businesses, like we're all in competition. But if we're all like, we're just trying to figure this out, and sometimes we're going to get it really right, and then sometimes we're not. And then sometimes the Spirit blows in and messes things up. And
Yes. Those are the best.
it's pretty amazing. And so it's like, it's just, what is the story that we're telling? And remember that we're telling a story, that it's not over yet.
Here's my thought on it. I think sometimes it's way better to not know what you're doing than to know what you're doing. And here's why. Because when you don't know what you're doing, you're way more sensitive to allow God to lead. So when you feel like you've got it all figured out, you're like, whatever, Jesus, I got this one.
Got this, JC,
Thanks.
you take a nap.
Yeah, enjoy that snooze. I got this all by myself.
I got it.
But, the times when I felt like, I don't know what to say to this person, and then, like, I will say something, and I'm like, holy crap, where did that come from?
Right.
It's because I took the moment to be like, I don't know what to say. I need some help here.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a gift to not know what we're doing.
I think that it is, though, the vulnerability to say, I don't know. We play, there's a game that people like to play called Stump the Pastor.
I love that game.
It's fun. I'm terrible at it because I'm okay with being stumped.
Yeah.
And so for people who are really like, I'm going to get her.
Right.
Okay. I don't mind being gotten. Like,
yeah, I think you have to be like honest and be like, I don't really know.
I don't know.
Maybe this is how I feel about it right now, but ask me tomorrow and I may say something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that it takes some vulnerability to be able to be like, I don't know.
It kind of takes being secure in yourself too, to be like, I'm a pastor. I don't have all the answers.
Yeah. We're just going to figure it out together.
Right.
We're going to keep trying. We're not giving up.
That's right. We're not going to give up.
No.
We're not.
So, even though maybe you don't know what you're doing, it's okay.
It is okay.
Maybe share an experience in the comments, or a time when you were like, I was totally out there in left field and I had no idea what was happening, and then this amazing thing did. Or maybe it was, I still don't know. I'm still lost. I'm still wondering.
I fell real flat on my face.
And, share those stories, because I think that there's power in those stories, too, to tell.
Totally.
Yeah. So share in the comments. Use the hashtag Pastor Besties. And may you fail. May you try. May you try and figure it out. And may you trust that throughout the process, God will be present with you.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.